Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you. Yeah, it's that time. We are long-term storing some flour. Had some flour inside our freezer outside in the garage, and we made some decisions. We have made some decisions after seeing our electric bill to shut down every possible thing that we could actually shut down. So we cleared out a freezer, side-by-side refrigerator as well in the garage, and we don't really use the electricity in that area except for that and a fan and a few other things. So we completely turned the breaker off. Our bill was astronomically high. Don't know what it is. I really don't think it's coming from a house, because they're saying we're actually pulling 167 kilowatt hours a day on average, and that's not possible. So we got something set up that they're going to be coming out to look at our home, but until then we are shutting things down as much as we can. And what we're going to do today is get this flour that was in the freezer put in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and into some 5-gallon buckets. Been meaning to do that for a while, so now it's time that we got to do it. So I've already got this one done. I kind of started late, kind of taking after Kelly and her videos, but I've already put the flour in, the oxygen absorbers, and almost sealed it completely. And this one here is still empty, and we'll get that one filled up in just a minute. And by the way, I didn't tell you, our electric bill was $840 for the month. Is that insane or what? Okay, so what I did is I sealed it with a flat iron. So it's sealed all the way up to this little hole I left. And we're going to suck some air out of this thing before we seal the rest of it. That's all it takes. Seal this section up. Now what I'll do is I'll push this in. We still got a little air in it. I'm not going to tighten up the lid and to close it down tight until tomorrow. And we'll take a look and make sure we had a good seal on it. It should be sucked down more. And then we'll be good to snap the lid on it and put it up for long-term storage. And in a 5-gallon bucket, you can get 25 pounds of flour. So each one of these bags is 25 pounds, so it's going to take me 4 5-gallon buckets. What I did is when I took them out the freezer, I actually let them come back down to room temperature and made sure that there was no moisture or anything inside the flour. And if you ever do have a problem with moisture, you can go ahead and, I know it would be messy, but you can lay it on a baking sheet and heat it up to 200 degrees and it'll get dry for you. But we don't have that issue on these. So here we go. Okay, the flour's in there. I had to spare y'all me trying to pour flour in there by myself. And what I'm using is the oxygen absorbers. They're 300 cc's. So I'm doing enough to where I make sure I'm at 2,000 cc's per 5-gallon bucket. So that's a little over 2,000 cc's if you factor it in. So it's 2,100 cc's that'll be inside here. 1, 2, 3, 12, 15, 18, 21. Alright, got the seam together. I'm just going to stick it on there. Keep on going down. Don't hold it on too much or it'll melt.
And you'll ruin my flat iron?
I wouldn't tell people this is your flat iron. This is my flat iron. Now leave me a little hole. Okay. rest will be done by the oxygen absorbers. Put that in. And I get my food grade buckets at Lowe's. You can see it has a little sticker on it that says food grade, and I'm just using the regular lids that snap on. It's got the gasket. Not using the gamma lids because I don't plan on unsealing this at this moment. When we do unseal one, then we can put a gamma lid on it. Those gamma lids are super expensive, so we're just going to use these. These are expensive enough. 2 more buckets to go. And I will also leave these lids loose. Not going to close them until tomorrow so I can check the bags, make sure I have a good seal and the oxygen absorbers are doing their job. And if you don't know what the gamma lids are, here they are. This is what they're called, gamma seal lid. You can see the picture. You snap the ring onto the bucket and then you can unscrew it. And then if you're using the bucket that you are using for the food you're getting on a daily basis, this is a good thing to use. And not only good for food storage, you can actually use it to store supplies and ammunition or whatever. It's actually got a seal on it, and of course the other ones have a seal as well. As you can see, that little gasket on the inside right there. Just wanted to show you, but we're not going to use the gamma seal lids. We're just using the snap-ons. Okay, round 2. 2 more buckets. That'll make my 4. That'll give me 100 pounds of flour for long-term storage to add to what I have. And I'll put dates on these lids as well so I can watch how long it's been stored and when I need to use it. You do hear a lot of different shelf lives of flour. Some will say well, different types of ways to store your flour, but this is the best way. And I've done some research, and it shows that if there's no humidity, no oxygen, no light, it can store for up to 10 years. So we're gonna probably put a 5-year to a 6-year to use by date on it. I'm not too sure on the 10 years, but if you smell mold or you can see the mold, then you know this flour is bad. Alright. Okay, now let's label these lids. Okay, the lids are wrote on. Got white flour packed on 8/13 of 22. And I'll put a label on the side because from experience, permanent marker doesn't stay on these lids too long if it gets rubbed around. So I'll get a label on these a little later. Nobody tell Kelly I made a mess. Oof. And I have some extra, so instead of vacuum sealing my oxygen absorbers, I put them in a jar and we seal the jar. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Takes a little while. There we go. All right. Close the lid. This should pop right off. And nice and sealed. Good to go. Okay guys, thank you for stopping by. And I hope this is informative for some that do need to do long-term storage that's never had. There's so many YouTube channels that do this. But hey, I want to get a video out So here you guys go. Y'all stay well, stay safe. Always remember, prepare for the unknown.